So I'm just going to wait a few minutes before we dive in here and get people in chat. And yeah, I'm really excited for this week's episode. Let me pull this onto this screen. Who do we have here today? That's right. My cat is somewhere behind me wrecking things. So if you guys hear noises, that's what that is. Ugh. She's a cute but annoying creature. Making sure I check the Twitter. Yes, I did tweet it out. Do one final retweet. And we're just going to hang out for a minute here while people are hopping in chat. Live now. And tweet. So many tweets. Now, with it being so close to Christmas, I am assuming that we are going to be missing some of the regulars today, which is understandable. All this holiday shenanigans and traveling, and I decorated a bit. I'm not sure if you can kind of see behind me. I have some garland on my Ganymede tree, and I got some up above behind me there. We also have some garland up on my shelf. Can you not, cat? Oh no, she went into the. Yeah, she's just going to be behind there messing around during the show. That's okay. All right. Hey, Bob. Welcome to Chatland. We're about to get started. I have my guest behind the scenes, patiently waiting. Well, I keep looking behind me at my cat. I'm just worried that she's going to knock my lamp over. That's why I keep looking over. It should be okay. All right. So on that note, enough rambling. It is high noon. Oh, no, Dicebird, you got in trouble. Nightbot smacked you. Anyways, like I was saying, you probably put too much emotes. It's high noon. So I'm gonna play my intro video here. Do.
Pump up the volume. Oh, this'll be good.
Grab your drink, take a seat, because it's definitely time to get on the point with your host, Malkarii.
I'll be watching over you.
All right. Yes, Anir, you finally made it. Hello, everybody. Welcome for hanging out, being in chat, ready to go for episode 6 of On the Point. I'm very excited for this amazing episode, and maybe you will learn a few things on how to play one of the most frustrating heroes to play against, Mei. And yes, that's the theme of the show, lots of puns. So I'm very excited for my guest we have today. We have a Grandmaster, and I believe he said he was previously top 500 a couple times. So let me bring him on here. He's patiently waiting behind the scenes. So let's bring him on here. There we go. Hello, ShockMaster. Thank you so much for your patience. Welcome to On the Point.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you here. So, oh man, I'm so excited. Shock is amazing. Oh, you have fans. You have fans in chat.
Yeah,
I have heard Shock is amazing. Amazing.
She didn't spell it right though, so.
No, you didn't spell it right, but I read it right, so that's okay. So I've heard nothing but good things about ShockMaster. Hopefully these things are true. When I told people that you were going to be my guest for this week, the response was, "Oh yeah, Shock is great. This is going to be a good episode." So I really hope you live up to the hype. It's going to be good. So before we hop into the show, it's so close to Christmas. Like, what are your plans? What do you got going on right now?
So yesterday I actually had like a family gathering. A few of my family from my dad's side came over. We all had dinner. We had like ham and mashed potatoes. It was super good. And yeah,
I love ham. It's tradition in my family, and we always have a turkey, but we always have ham as well. And apparently, that's a weird thing. I've been told that's weird that I always have ham, like on like Thanksgiving, Christmas, just a thing. So I'm glad that your family also has ham.
It might be
I'm not
weird,
alone.
but it is good.
It's so good. Love the ham. Yeah, I appreciate you being on so close to the holidays. I considered not even having an episode this week because I figured, there's no way I'm going to find a guest. But here we have you, and I'm excited to have you here. So before we dive too much in, let's talk about who ShockMaster is. Let's dive into who you are, what you do. Why are you here talking about Overwatch? What are your qualifications?
All right, so I've been playing this game since the very first season of competitive, and even a little bit before that. Like, there used to not be a competitive mode even when the game was officially released, and I played before then. I started like right in the middle of Platinum, or as it was called in Season 1, just 50 SR, which is like modern day 2500.
Yep.
And since then, I've climbed all the way to Grandmaster, and I even hit top 500 a couple times this season, peaking at 4309 SR.
Nice.
And I specialize in projectile DPS in team play, especially Mei. She's one of my like niche picks, and but I tend to flex a lot in competitive mode, at least. And I also play for a college team, and I also stream fairly often, and I do coaching when I stream. So, yep. It's pretty fun. Love this game.
Pop this up on screen so everyone has your Twitter and your Twitch. Make sure you give him some follows on both Twitter and Twitch and watch him play his amazing Mei. Amazing Mei. Yeah, no, it's so great that you do all those things. And yeah, back in the day when comp was a new thing and 50 SR was like so good. No longer is it. So I can't brag about my 50 SR anymore. Just kidding. I'm not that low. But yeah, no, that's great. And Maker says that you are a god. I love it. And I just have to feature this, but Bob is saying this is totally relevant on the point, but honey baked ham for the win. I agree with Bob. Honey baked ham is so good. Like, I've had ham once where they put like maraschino cherries and like pineapples and other weird things with it. And I did not like that. Like, just basic honey baked ham. That's all I need in my life. Don't do weird things to your ham, guys. Don't do weird things. All right, so before we dive into Mei, I want to mention the giveaways that we have going on today. So for those that have been here on previous episodes, you'll know that I give away loot boxes, and we're still doing that. That's still the case, but we're adding an extra bonus of an actual full copy of Overwatch for the PC, donated by Tanner or AlphaGare. He's also a streamer. He's been in chat. I think he's out doing family stuff today, so he can't physically be here. But thanks to him, we are giving away a copy of Overwatch and some extra loot boxes on top of the loot boxes I'm already giving away. So to qualify for these, just be active in chat, be friendly, ask questions, communicate, just be here. And at some point during this half an hour-ish show, we'll be giving away multiple things. So to celebrate the holidays and awesomeness and just a great community that Overwatch is, multiple giveaways. So yay, giveaways. Put my giveaway crawler up there. Wow. There we go. All right, so So what we're going to do first, just for those who haven't been here before, don't know really the way we break down the show, but what we're going to do is we're going to be having a quick ability overview. We're not going to spend too much time on this because you can just easily Google Mei's abilities, but I'll just give you a basic overview of what the hero is about for those that aren't familiar with Mei at all. Maybe you're a really new Overwatch player, or you just haven't played her yet or don't know much about her. We're going to give you a brief overview of the abilities. We're going to talk about like when's a good time to pick this specific hero, her strengths and weaknesses, good team competition she works with or against, and the meat of the show is going to be the tips and tricks of how to play Mei well. So for those that aren't familiar with On The Point, the show is geared towards the more average, casual Overwatch player. So if you're in the bronze, silver, gold rank and you want to climb, you want to get out of there, and you want to learn how to be a better player and how to play better, this is the show for you. So on top of talking about the hero, just some also basic tips on just how to work better on teams with random people that you aren't familiar with. Like being friendly. Friendliness goes a long way. Being toxic doesn't really get your way. Don't recommend it. All right, so on that note, we're going to talk about her first ability. So, I will let you grab the first one, ShockMaster, if you don't mind.
All right, so her main ability, which is her primary fire from her endothermic blaster, is basically just like a slow, like it has like a little projectile to it, but yeah, it's basically just this like spray that slows, and it also pierces through enemies, and it's more of a short range thing. And then she has her right click, which is her alternate fire, and it shoots an icicle, and it actually doesn't have fall off damage anymore, which is I think that's a change that happened like a few months ago. But yeah, it can be it's like a medium to long range thing. You can also use it to combo with the left click or the and
it's a pretty powerful ability. A lot of brand new Mei players forget about the other click. They think, oh yeah, you just spray people, but there's actually that other really pretty powerful projectile that she shoots out too. And as long as you get that aim down, it's pretty strong. When I play the Yeti, the holiday themed Yeti match, I just stand at a distance, just shooting my projectile, and it kills them. All right, and then next is Cryo Freeze. So Mei can surround herself in a block of ice, and she heals up while she's in it. We'll discuss good times to use that because there's so much utility for this in the tips and tricks. But I just want to give you a brief overview. This is one of the abilities she has. So block of ice and heal yourself. And then the ice wall, it's literally just like the name. You put a wall of ice up in front of you. And we'll again dive into more details on how to use the ice wall, because this ability also is pretty badass and has so much utility, and can be frustrating as heck when you're playing against it. And then her ultimate, the Blizzard, I'll let you touch on what that Blizzard does.
All right, so Blizzard is basically you throw this projectile. It's got a really weird curve, actually. So yeah, you throw this projectile, and then it freezes or slows targets. I think it's in like a 15 meter. I don't remember exactly. I think it's a 15 meter diameter from the center, and yeah, so it's pretty cool. And you can also combo it with your left click to freeze people even faster, which is nice.
That's great. Yeah, it's quite 15 meters is quite big in game. It covers a good period, and it slows people. You'll take damage on it. If you're in it long enough, you'll become entirely frozen. So, and we'll talk about this more, but this ultimate, like many other ultimates, is great when paired with other heroes on your team ultimate abilities as well. You can really shut down an entire team. Let's see here. Yeah. Mei is thick. Yes, she is. She's great. All right. So, and Malkarii is saying she's immune to damage while on ice, and she can still receive heals. That is true. She heals up, she's immune to damage, and you can still heal her up while she's in there. That is absolutely true. All right. So let's dive into the more meat of the show. When should Mei be picked? You're queuing up. You're playing a game, and what situation other than just really liking her? When is a good time to pick Mei?
All right, so she is generally good composition-wise. She's generally good with a Death Ball comp, which means that you're probably playing like a Reinhardt or a Zarya, and that's mostly just because it's easier for the Mei to have synergy with those two tanks, and it's also easier for those tanks to follow up with Mei's abilities. And map-wise, she tends to be good on maps that have big choke points that you can wall off effectively. So like Hanamura First is a good example. It's actually one of the most basic things you can do with the ice wall is just wall off a choke, and it's really effective at splitting the enemy team. So yeah.
Yeah, no, she's pretty powerful. And then now, she has specific strengths and also weaknesses. I know you don't like talking about her weaknesses as much because she's one of your mains. You love her, but strengths and weaknesses. Let's talk about that.
All right, so we can talk about the weaknesses first. I tend to have the most trouble with snipers in particular, and that's mostly because it's hard to duel snipers at a long range. She tends to be more of a closer range hero, especially in low tiers, because it's harder to hit the icicle at a really long range. And so yeah, Hanzo, Ashe, and Widow are the heroes that I have the most trouble with, but also it can be difficult to play against full dive compositions, especially, so that would be like a Winston, Diva, or a Hammond with a Genji, Pharah, Tracer, stuff like that. And it's especially annoying to play against Pharah, Mercy with a full dive because they tend to negate the use of the wall a lot of the time.
Yeah, and I say this every episode because at this point we always mention, oh yeah, Pharah's really good against this hero. She's, Pharah is annoying against every hero. Man, I'm looking forward to the Pharah episode so we can talk about how awesome that character is. But yeah, she can shut anybody down.
Anyway, her strengths on the flip side, So she is very good against compositions that do not have as much like mobility, specifically vertical mobility. So like Reinhardt, you can easily separate from the team. She's actually mostly good against tanks and especially good against goats in particular, which is just 3 tanks and 3 supports. They try to run at you. You can slow down those heroes very effectively and split them up, and that's their win condition. So it's a really effective way of stopping them. So yeah.
Yeah, May can be pesky. She's great for splitting up teams. I've died a lot that way. Okay, so let's talk about team comp. So which heroes May works really well. I know you mentioned a few competitions she's good with or against, but let's get in a little bit more of that. So who when people are picking heroes and you think, oh, I really need to pick May, she's great with this hero and this hero that are currently picked. What is the ideal May comp?
So May tends to be, so like I said before, May is really good in a death ball composition. She also has a lot of synergy with snipers in particular, actually, because you can slow down the enemy team a lot. You don't even have to freeze them necessarily, but you slow them down enough so that snipers have enough time to get picks on the enemy team. Stuff like that. So you can slow them down, make them have easier shots, and even just like slow them down from rushing you. She can be run in dive, but it's a lot more difficult. You have to use the wall and more creative ways to get high ground and stuff. But yeah, tends to be better in death ball and against snipers, or with snipers, not against snipers.
Now, well, when I'm playing against May, like she is one of the my priority for killing. Would you say that's a good priority to have for someone playing against a May?
What? So like focusing her down, or
focusing her down. That's like one of the more important heroes to get away.
Yeah, you really have to track her cooldowns too, because both of her cooldowns are really good at keeping her alive. That's one of her biggest strengths, actually.
Fair enough. Yeah. And then we've talked about this already, but who is she specifically strong or weak against? Kind of ties into her strength earlier, but
yeah, like I said, mostly Widowmaker, Ashe, and Hanzo. But Ashe is a little bit different because she can't actually one-shot. Like the main worry of snipers is that they can one-shot you and also just deal big chunks of damage at long range that you can't really like hit them back with. But yeah, so.
Yeah, snipers are pesky. Yep. I'm trying to play them better. I definitely don't play well against them because they often kill me. And then M. Graven says if she has a pocket, then kill the pocket first. Yeah, typically, especially if there's like a mercy on anybody, mercy should always be a top priority. Kill her and then kill the person she was pocketing because it's just a lot easier to do in that order. And that way she can't res people. Because you can kill someone that she's just right beside them, she's just going to res them. So yeah, definitely kill the pockets first. Now that we've covered the basics of May and her abilities and when to get to pick her, what her strengths and weaknesses are, let's dive into the important part of the show, is the tips and tricks from an experienced player, experienced May, that knows what's going on, that plays amazingly. Maybe you have some good information for us. So
yeah, maybe we can overcome all obstacles here.
Yes. There we go. All right. So yeah. So looking at a newer, more casual, average player, what would you say is like some of the biggest mistakes a brand new May player or an inexperienced May player would make?
So this is kind of given, but the wall is honestly the thing that I see being used not as effectively as it could be, and that's mostly just because it's a really complicated ability. Like you look at May's kit and you think, wow, that actually looks pretty simple. Like it's just like it doesn't really require a lot of aim. You have this slowing mechanic and you get to like headshot people who are just sitting still after you freeze them. But the fact that Overwatch is such a fast game in general makes her kit that looks really simple actually very hard to play, because freezing someone in the middle of a fight is really difficult if all 6 people are just there. And what the wall allows you to do is it either completely isolates, you can completely isolate players with it, or you can at least slow the team down from trying to get to them. So you can put walls not only in choke points, but just separating the team like for a little bit so you can get the freeze off on specific heroes. And a lot of times I see Mei's like using wall like at spawn door, for example, like that literally it not only gives the enemy team a chance to just rush you because they know you don't have wall up, it also just all it's doing is like gaining you like 5 seconds of time. Like that's not a valuable way to use the wall. And you can also use the wall to get up on high ground and get your team to high ground in a lot of places. So yeah, it's a cool way.
Now, regarding the wall, I've played with some maze on my team that clearly did not know what they were doing, or they were trolling, because as useful as the wall is, you can really mess things up for your team too. Cut them off. Or there was a time where on Junkrat, I used my ultimate, zooming in with my Riptire, and like it wasn't just like a split second. Like the Mei obviously heard it, knew it was there. She put her wall up in front of my tire, just in front of the team that I was trying to blow up. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? And yeah, Bob also says the same thing. Extremely useful or extremely detrimental to your team. Absolutely, Bob. So yeah, it's you can easily troll as a Mei if you don't like your team, and this is toxic. Don't do this, but you could easily. Oh
yeah, Bob actually mentioned something. Bob actually mentioned something that's really important. Something that's really, really important about Mei that I totally forgot to mention is that you can cancel the wall. And I was trying to tell myself to not forget it either, but you can cancel the wall by just clicking, pressing the E button, which is the same button that you would cast it with if you bound it to a different button.
This is brand new information to me. I sincerely had no idea.
You can actually
cancel the wall.
Yes,
What?
you can break the wall after it. So if you feel like if you are a human being and you made a mistake with your wall, it's like, crap, I messed up. I just walled off my Reinhardt, and now he's in the middle of their team instead of doing the opposite. Then you can click E again and let the wall down. It just breaks instantly. So yeah,
I'm so amazed by this. Amazed. I had sincerely had no idea that was a thing, and I'm so excited to share this information when I'm in these matches playing with a Mei like this. Maybe they're really bad. Maybe they just don't understand. But just sharing the information of you can cancel your wall. Can you please?
Yeah, no. Even I have bad walls, so I have to cancel them. Like, yeah.
Maybe it is common knowledge. I am Graven. I'm not a Mei player. She's not one of my mains. So I sincerely did not know. She's one of the heroes that I want to get better at. That's one of the reasons why I was so excited for this episode with ShockMaster, because I want to learn things, and I am learning things, and hopefully you guys, other people, are as well. I did not know you can cancel your wall. It makes sense that you can. Now that it's mentioned, I had no idea. Learn a new thing today. I love it. Yeah, canceling the wall. That's excellent. Okay, so aside from her wall, any tips and tricks on, like, for example, her ultimates? Like, it's a good time, the best time to use her ult. Obviously, you want the team to be stacked up so you can get as many people as possible in her freeze. But like, when's a good clutch moment to use that type of ultimate?
Yeah, so her ultimate is usually really effective on objectives. So like specifically on payload maps, you like put it, like, it's good if the enemy team is trying to rush the payload to put it like right in the middle of payload. It's where they want to go, but it's like you don't necessarily have to get kills with it. But what that does is it zones them out of the area that they want to be in. You can also use it kind of like the wall to split teams. So like if you have half their team trying to run towards you and half their team is still like lagging behind, you can put the blizzard down and they can't really walk through that very easily depending on how big the choke point is and stuff. And also, like I mentioned before, you can use your left click on the primary fire on endothermic blaster to actually freeze targets twice as fast when they're in the blizzard because it's getting hit by both freezes.
Yeah.
And a more slightly advanced trick is if you do mess up your wall on a choke point or something, and no one on the enemy team is walled off, like they're all like on the same side, you didn't split anyone, you can throw your blizzard down right before you drop your wall, and they might just end up running into the blizzard, and then you can get a bunch of kills off of that. So yeah.
That's ammunition. Dice just shared a story in chat, and I want to touch on that because it's relevant to me. He mentioned that he's playing Yeti mode, and he put up an ice wall in an attempt to split the Winston from everyone else. He says he split one of the Meis, trapping one of the Meis in with the Winston. It's relevant to me because I was that Mei that he trapped in with the Winston. Yes, I did get killed. It was rude as heck. And now that you know, Diceboard, you can cancel your ice wall next time you trap me in with Winston when we play Yeti mode together. I was so upset. But yeah. Her walls. Now, Emgram is saying that her ult can be eaten by D.Va. That's
Yes.
absolutely true. It's a real
And it's
thing.
actually one of the easiest ults to get eaten by D.Va. So I tend to like to freeze D.Va before I put down the Blizzard. And freeze actually, the left click actually goes through Matrix. So it's pretty easy to freeze D.Va, especially if she doesn't have her boosters up. So yeah.
That's handy that goes through Matrix. I did not know that. I assume the Matrix just ate everything.
The icicle gets eaten by Matrix, but left click does not.
That is good information to know as well. Now, you mentioned earlier briefly when we were talking about the abilities that the arc of when you throw the ultimate is a bit weird. What did you mean by that?
It's just like it's a really slow. So it's kind of like a Zarya right click, but it's like a lot slower. I feel like it kind of like floats in the air a little bit. There's actually like a really weird tech you can do with Mei, and if like you can throw your ultimate straight in the air, and it actually takes like I don't know, like 8 seconds for it to fall back down, and it lasts like just as long. Like as soon as it deploys, that's when like the timer starts going for it, so it doesn't like last any less long or anything. So yeah, it's just a really long travel time and stuff. It's kind of slow. That's what I meant by it, really. And that's why it's easy to get eaten by Matrix, too.
Yeah, Emgaren's also point adding in that's similar to Ash's Dynamite, just a little slower with the curved path. And it looks like Nightbot smacked you for your little bit of spammy symbols there. But don't worry, you're not in trouble. You're not in trouble. Just Nightbot got mad. I should really change those spam settings. Those should no longer be a thing. Let's see here. Now, any other tips and tricks you can think of on how a newer player or a more casual player can play Mei better?
So I would say, so Mei is like actually one of the most creative heroes, and it's not really that complicated to get into too. Once you like know where like some of the wall spots are, you can just keep doing it. So like, for example, I found a lot of my wall spots by experimenting. I didn't really ever look anything up. But so one of the most common things you can do is you can wall on top of the payload on some payload maps to get to high grounds you wouldn't be able to get to by just like walling on the floor. So like on Dorado, you can wall up to the bridge from the payload, which you can't do from anywhere else. Gibraltar, you can wall up to high ground from the payload on first point. Even on second point, you can wall up to spaceship from the payload. And that's actually like some... Yeah, it's really effective. And also, shifting over to the left click side of things, so her left click slows people down as we mentioned in the beginning, but it also has a travel time, so it's a projectile. And a lot of people don't know that you can actually shoot 2 icicles while a target is frozen if you time it right. So if you and this has to come from experience. Like you can't really like learn the timing from this just like someone telling you, but if you learn how long it takes to freeze someone, you can get 2 icicles in to hit someone, and that's really useful, especially on tanks and especially on Zarya, because you can actually instantly kill her if you do freeze icicle melee, and that's a 1-shot kill on her. So that's really nice.
Yeah, I've actually been learning that because I've been playing a lot of the Yeti. It's the seasonal stuff right now for Christmas, and I think I've figured out the okay timing to get those 2 icicles in. So I'm ready. Pat myself on the back.
Great.
I'm proud of that.
Yeah, that's super. That is so useful. Like you turn into like so much better of a Mei once you learn that trick, because you do. It's not only like really good for killing those players, but you also get so much more ult charge from it. Like it's super useful.
Oh yeah, definitely. Powers it up real quick.
All right, so
let's see here. For 1 second, if anyone else has questions in chat, now is the time to ask your questions. And while we're chatting, we'll keep an eye on chat and make sure we answer them. So if you have any Mei questions, pop them in the chat. We can, or should I say, Tyler will do his best to answer them. I'm just here to look pretty. So sorry, Tyler, what were you going to say?
Okay, so I was going to mention Tracer, because Tracer is at like the perfect HP for an Icicle headshot to kill her. It's exactly 150 damage for a headshot with Icicle, and Tracer has 150 HP. Now, this is useful because one-shotting Tracer is one of the best ways to like counter her, but it is very hard to hit her a lot of the time. And a little known fact about Mei is if you hit Tracer with the left click, and she blinks away, she still gets the same blink distance, but her movement is still slowed after the blink, so it can be easier to land the headshot on Tracer if you hit her with a little bit of left click, because she's still slowed after the blink. The only thing that removes the slowness entirely when you're freezing Tracer is recall. So it's just a little fun fact that I learned actually recently.
Yeah, Mei is a good counter for Tracer. Any heroes that can like stun or trap or slow Tracer are good Tracer combaters for sure. Let's see here. Let me see. There's no other questions in chat. Yeah, Dice Bar, exactly. Headshots from air can be quite devastating. When they're frozen, it's much easier for a more experienced pro to get the headshot. That's absolutely true. And as Dice Bar recently learned, headshots do more damage on any hero. Headshots do more damage. So being able to freeze a target and having it fully not moving definitely helps you get those headshots in. And Sinister, I see you popping in there. Hello. Do you have any Mei questions, Sin? I think you play her. She's not one of your mains. I think you do play her sometimes. Mei tortures most flankers in general. She can provide good peel. That's absolutely true as well.
Indeed.
Now, I'm trying to think if there's anything... Like, I don't have many tips for Mei on my end because I'm quite an experienced Mei player. So I'm just sitting here racking my brain, trying to think of any information I have.
Do you do you have any questions?
Because I'm thinking, because I'm a newer player, so like, what would I ask a really skilled Mei player? My question is, you talk about getting to the high ground with Mei a lot.
Yeah.
When is a good situation for her to be on the high ground? Because her main attack is a quite short range thing. So when's a good time to get up?
So it is short ranged, but it actually is less short range than you think it is. So like, just to provide like an example, if you're on the Numbani high ground on first point, and you're looking down at streets, you can actually freeze a Reinhardt from up there, if you're holding left click. So it actually has a longer range than a lot of people think it does. It does. So good times to get on high ground would just be like in between team fights, because you obviously want to have your wall up for when the enemy team is pushing, but you can get like 2 walls in if you get one in like before the team fight. So it can be really useful in that way. And what that does is it also makes it so the enemy team, it's more difficult for the enemy team to like focus you down and get your cooldowns out. So you can you can get a better angle. So like Ryan would have to rotate his shield, stuff like that, to try and block your freeze.
All right.
And Bob, yes, Mei is very, very, very good against goats.
Yes. Definitely can shut down goats. And for those that didn't hear my previous episodes, I think I want to say this at least once every episode because I love saying it. But for those who don't know what goats is, it's 3 tanks, 3 support, very specific comp. But the point of what I want to get in here is how to remember what goats is. This isn't perfect to the acronym, but I get excited every time I say it. It's go all tank and support. It's a good way to remember what goats is. It's not perfect to the word goats, but it gets the idea across. And it's close enough where you can remember it. Go all tank and support. Sinister's asking if Mei is used best to zone out an area or to stay close and peel. Now, M. Graven mentioned that it depends what the enemy is running already, but do you have any other extra information on that?
Yeah, my rule of thumb is like, if they're running dive, it's harder to zone them, so I would use it more for peel, especially since Mei can be really effective against dive tanks once their cooldowns are down. So she can be a really good peel. You kind of play her like a diva in that way. Like you use diva to peel a lot of the time. And that's actually the slot I would run Mei and goats, but that's all a different story. And then when you're running against Deathball, I'd say she's more of a zoning hero. So you're trying to like wall specific players off to zone them out, so you can get kills on them more easily. Peeling is just like turning around to help one of your other players, usually a support hero, by the way, Dice.
Yeah, good question. Yeah, he had asked what is peel. Yeah. So yeah, when you split off from your group to help someone out. Excellent. So while we give the final information on Mei, I'm going to scroll through chat. I have been paying attention for the giveaways. Multiple things are giving away, but any other issue you could think about Mei? Actually, you know what? No, first, before we do that, Tyler, I would like to hear your favorite Mei voice line in your best Mei voice. Can you do that for us?
Wake up, sleepyhead.
Now, What's the story behind? Why is it your
Okay,
favorite voice line?
Okay, so so first of all, it's just a really good voice line to spam all the time. It's just like, and it really relates to me too. It's like, wake up, sleepyhead. But no, one time, my college team was doing a map review. We were just like reviewing a ton of maps and like learning how to play on them specifically. And and we're all like sitting in this gaming room, so like we can see how like tired everyone is. And the guy right across from me, he's our hit scan player, and he was like really tired that day. Like it looked like he was about to fall asleep. And I just kept on walking up to him in game, and I was playing Mei, and I would just spam "Wake up, sleepyhead," and just keep on spamming it right next to him, just to try to wake him up. And we both thought it was really funny.
That is pretty funny. All right, so I have an idea of who can loot boxes, but what I'm going to do for the copy of Overwatch, I know a bunch of you already own it. Some of you might have no desire to win it. Just know, like, I'm totally okay if you take this and gift it to someone else. It is almost Christmas. That's totally fine and okay to do. So you have someone in mind that you would like to give a copy of Overwatch for the PC, not console, but for PC. You can absolutely do that. So for the loot boxes, I have 2 people in mind already, but for Overwatch, I'm going to you guys to have a keyword in chat to enter that giveaway. So it's all capital letters, Mei. MEI. So if you'd like to win a copy of Overwatch for the PC, type Mei in chat, and I'll let that go for a few minutes, and then we'll choose a winner from those that enter it. In the meantime, the 2 winners of the loot boxes are, it's a little drum roll on my desk here. You've been extremely helpful, M. Graven, 44 mate. So you're going to be winning some of the loot boxes, as well as Diceboard, who's been really helpful, asking questions, learning things about Mei. Diceboard, you've also won some loot boxes. Make sure you type Mei, all capital letters, Organ Dornaire, I love that name, Organ Dornaire, all capital letters. I'm pretty sure it's case sensitive. No, sorry, it's case insensitive. Never mind. Nightbot says it's case insensitive. Doesn't matter. You're good to go. Yes, Tanner. There we go. There's the guy who's donated this copy of Overwatch they're giving away right now, and some loot boxes as well. Alphagare. Make sure you give him a follow. He is a Twitch streamer as well. Does a lot of World of Warcraft shenanigans and other great things. So make sure you give him some follows. Thanks again, Tanner, for these things that we're giving away. And also make sure you follow the BeLive Twitch channel, guys. Make sure you do that. Get that done. And if you're a Twitch streamer and you do any sort of talk shows or podcasting thing, I highly recommend checking out BeLive. You can do a free trial, check it out, see what's going on. It's such a simple, it's not software. You don't need to download anything on your computer. It's all web-based. So if you have more of a potato type computer, you can't really use any of the other softwares that are out there for streaming because it's too CPU intensive. BeLive would be a good option for you. And actually, and then one final selling point is make sure you join the BeLive Discord. I'm in there. It's great. Other people in there, and it's fun and shenanigans. We have a channel where you can post pictures of your pets. We have a channel where you can post selfies of yourself. We have a channel where you can just talk to other streamers and help each other out. It's an awesome Discord. You should absolutely check out the BeLive Discord. All right, and I also put the link in chat for if you want that free trial. All right, now that I'm done selling stuff, keep on typing the word Mei in chat if you guys want to win. Tyler, is there anything else? Any final tidbits of Mei that you would like to impart onto the more inexperienced player, namely me? How can I play better? Anything else?
I think the main thing about Mei is just to not don't really just be creative and try things out. I think that's a really important thing to do, especially with this hero, especially if you're really new to her and really want to learn her. It's just experiment, look around maps, see what chokes you can wall off, see what chokes you can't wall off, see what high grounds you can get to. And most importantly, do not overextend, because that is the #1 cause of death for Mei is you're overextended in the backline. You have ice block up, but that doesn't really matter because you're just, as soon as you come out of that block, you're going to get destroyed. So, yep.
Yeah, definitely. And for right now, with the holiday season going on, the Yeti event, that's a good way to try out Mei if you're not sure about the hero. And of course, I go in there and try to win, but also pay attention to the other Meis. I've played with some really good Meis. I've watched where they put ice walls, when they've done their ice walls, and whatnot. Of course, in the Yeti mode, you don't get your normal ultimate. You don't get your blizzard. You get put a trap down for the Yeti, so that's irrelevant. But you can still practice the projectile, your wall, positioning, and all that. Using the wall to get up on high ground. It's a good way to practice it with a bunch of other Meis. You can do your own thing and watch these other Meis and see what they do. And yeah, just so something not May related, but still Overwatch related, because we also talk about how to work well in teams. And I try to mention this at least once every episode, because then there's new people coming in and out and all that. But I always say this is the most simple thing, not just for quick play, not just for competitive, just for in general, not just for Overwatch 2, any online game really, is be friendly to people. Say hello when you join a group of random people that you don't know. These are all strangers, sure, but strangers are just friends you haven't met yet. And setting that tone immediately, saying, hey, I'm a friendly person. Hi, how's everyone doing? Like, they're all humans as well. Maybe they're having a bad day and they just need someone to say hi to them. And they immediately start playing better because they feel better. But you don't need to be like unicorns, rainbows, sprinkles, sunshine, but just a simple like courtesy of, hey guys, how you doing? Let's have a good match. Wishing the other team, like you type in match chat, good luck everyone before the match. And when you lose, no matter how bad the loss is, always say great round. Something Dicebard and I playing together recently been doing is especially when we lose, we always compliment someone on the other team, saying, hey, like your Reaper did a really good job. You really well, you deserve that play of the game. You really shut us down. Like just things like that, setting that tone. People talk about Overwatch being a very toxic game. It really isn't. It's only toxic if you let it be toxic. If you start being nice, I've been in groups where the group I've been with, they've all been jerks. But the second I started being nice and like saying, just like just being kind in general, by the end of that match, everyone was being kind and complimentary towards each other. And a lot of people that are playing are the younger generation, and they see us older folks, and if us older folks are going around trolling each other, then they think that's the norm. And they're younger, they want to try fitting in. They don't know any better to some degree. So if you set a good example, it will change. And it sounds silly, it sounds super cheesy and corny, but like one person can make a difference. At least in that moment, in that one team you're on for that one match, you yourself can make a difference. So yeah, just point out good plays, complimenting people. And Gary was saying that as well. Just be nice to each other, and it will improve your experience. It does help you not get tilted so quickly, because I have times where I've lost matches after matches after matches, but because I'm complimenting people, they're complimenting me back, I don't feel so bad about it, and it's just an overall good experience. Tyler, is there anything you want to mention about not being toxic, and anything you want to add to that? I know I'm kind of rambling right now, but you're welcome to add anything.
I agree greatly with everything. I actually have like this like saying that I say at the start of every match. I say "Saw broskies" just at the start of every match, just like kind of set the tone as a memer. And because I actually I do kind of have a problem with getting angry, but like setting the tone at the start of the match like really can help with that, because like not only does like kindness, like when you're kind to other people, they tend to be kind to even more people, and then you're just kind of like spreading the word even more and more. And toxicity does the same thing but the opposite way. And that's why I always like, especially when I'm streaming, I always try to be really PMA when I'm streaming, especially just because it's really nice to be a good example. So yeah.
Oh, it really is. Again, I stream as well, and I'm the community manager for non-toxic gaming. So like this is my life. This is what I do because I sincerely enjoy it. And people think, oh yeah, well everyone's already toxic, so I might as well be toxic too. And that's not true. If you're not toxic, that actually is the same effect as everyone being toxic, like Tyler said. It's just a snowball effect. It snowballs. If you put someone in a good mood in the match you play with them, the next match they go to, maybe they'll be that person that starts the good mood in that next match, and then again and again and again. It just spreads out, so it's great. And setting that tone right from the get-go, like an example of being a good teammate is when I go into a comp match, one of the first things I say is, hey guys, how you doing? What comp do we want to do? What do you want me to do? I'm willing to play whatever we need to play to make things better. Here's the heroes that I'm best at, but I'm flexible and I'm willing to play what needs to be done. And the second that one person says that they're willing to be flexible, it actually opens up everyone else's minds to be, you know what? Yeah, actually, I'll be flexible too. I want to win too. If you go in and just auto lock your hero and then refuse to switch off it, and I get that sometimes you're one trick, you shouldn't be, but sometimes you are, and maybe that's all you know. But just be honest with you and say, hey guys, like, sorry, this is just the hero that I'm best at. This is the hero I really know well. I'm willing to switch to another hero by won't be as good as a player. Like if you give them that information, they will be less likely to be upset at you because they'll understand, okay, fine, we'd rather you be on this hero that you know better than force you to play something you don't. Just communicate with your team instead of just like pretending you're not hearing them in voice chat, yelling at you, switch to a tank. Just say, hey guys, like sorry, like I'm auto-locked Lucio because it's the only hero I know, and that's it. You know, I'm willing to be flexible, but it's not ideal if I am. And generally you'll get a better response doing that than just ignoring people when they're telling you to switch. So good rule of thumbs there. Yeah, Lucio is a really good hero. He's one of my favorites. That's why he was my example.
I actually have something to say about that too. So
Yeah.
I have a May one trick account. As you could probably guess, actually Pete's like low GM with it. And I will say that if you go at the start of the game and be like, hey, this is my May one trick account, I'm only gonna be playing May, they'll be like less likely to get angry at you and stuff. Like GMs are still really stingy and like annoyed when you say that, but at least they know and they don't like bug you and trying to get you to switch off like later in the game. So yeah.
Exactly. Just communicate. Just say, hey, this is how things are. Don't say it in a douchey way, but just be like, hey, sincerely, this is how things are. And you'll get a better response than I can't stand going into comp or even quick play. If you're in voice comms with people and they pretend they can't hear you, but you know they're in voice chat, you know they can hear you, they're responding to other things. They're just not responding to that one request to switch a hero. It's the most frustrating thing ever, and like ruins the mood for everyone else in the group. And then just you generally will probably play better, or say play worse rather, being in that pissy mood. Oh, I'm playing with this jerk. I don't want to help them. Yeah, it's just, yeah, communicate. That being said, I recommend everyone like have your mains, like absolutely have your mains. Everyone has their mains that they prefer, but at least try like every hero. Have a basic understanding how every hero works. If you're in a situation where really clutch moment, they really need someone to switch on to a specific hero for a specific counter for something, at least understand the basics of every hero. So if you need to switch on a hero, sure, you won't be the best player on it, but you understand how the abilities work on the basic level, and that could make or break a game. It really can. A good way to do that is to play mystery heroes in the arcade. It forces you to play heroes that you normally don't play, and you just have to figure it out. That's how that was my strategy of forcing myself out of my little box, my little Junkrat Lucio box. And that's how I forced myself to learn other heroes. I've actually learned that I love a lot of the other heroes, and I'm not a pro on all of them, definitely not, but I understand how their abilities work. So I highly recommend every Overwatch player to do that. Just have a basic understanding of all the heroes. Have your mains, absolutely love them, play them, but understand every hero. And that understanding them also helps you play against them too, because you understand what their ult is, what their abilities are, what if you need to keep range from them because they have a short range ability, etc. Understand every hero will help you be a better player overall. Okay, on that note, unless you have any final notes on May, I think that's pretty much it for today's episode. Oh yeah, wait, we gotta give away the Overwatch. Look at me being a jerk. So Emma Graven, I think you said you were away when I announced the winners of the loot boxes. You're one of the loot box winners. So message me, ideally on Twitter. Let me type out my name. Because I know on the BeLive channel I don't really have my name anywhere. Let me just type this out here. My Twitter is @Twitter. No, it's not. Get that in here. Let's put this title on the screen. Bam. So my Twitter is @Malkarii_ because someone stole the regular Malkarii name. That's me. So Mgraven, message me on the Twitter. And then also Dicebird, you won some loot boxes as well. I'm not sure if you heard that. Now for the May, for the May giveaway, the Overwatch game giveaway. Let me just click this winner button, and the winner is Blazing Bob. You just won yourself a copy of Overwatch. So obviously, I know you already own the game, but you're welcome to gift this to anyone you like. Alpha Tanner, if you're still in chat, the two of you can coordinate on how to get that Overwatch over, because Alpha is the one that's giving out that copy of Overwatch. Congrats, Bob. Yay, excitement in chat. I'm gonna need a Smurf account. Oh man, that reminds me, I should really use my second account. I keep forgetting I have 2 accounts. Maybe Bob will gift this copy of Overwatch to you. Maybe. All right. Maybe. All right.
Maybe.
So yeah, maybe. So Mgraven, actually, you can message Alpha Gary. He's talking in chat as well. Message him for the loot boxes you won, and then Dicebird, I will and I'll connect with you to get you your loot boxes that you won. Thank you guys for hanging out, for chatting, for contributing, asking questions, making this an amazing episode. And I have to get all of these out because it's not so relevant on any other episodes. So I have to get this out of my system. Have a great holiday season, great Christmas. Make sure you play a lot of Overwatch. Get those holiday loot boxes. Get those skins. I know that's probably what I'm doing for the rest of my day. Is I still need that Krampus skin so badly for my Junkrat main. But yeah, have a good time. And then next week's episode, let's check the calendar. It's the 30th. Yeah, I should have an episode on the 30th next Sunday, high noon Pacific time. That'll be a thing. I have no idea what here we're going to be discussing. But as always, it'll be a good episode. And on that note, let me open this up. There we go. And as a final note, guys, remember, most importantly, above all else, above being nice, learning how to play heroes, and all these things, the main thing I want you to walk away from this episode knowing is remembering to always get on the point. Until next time, thank you so much, and I will see you next week.
Pump up the volume. Oh, this'll be good. I'll be watching over you.